Hi, and welcome to the first episode of The Unbecoming, a podcast where we talk about all things parenting. This episode, we will be discussing single parenting, co-parenting, and the wonderful world of dating with kids. Today, I'm with two parents who will be sharing their stories about separation, co-parenting, and dating. We'll start with introductions. We've got Nat V and Nat L.
So I'm Natalie.
Yep.
Nat V, as known online. I am a content creator on TikTok and Instagram, where I make content about being a single parent and my dating journey. So I've got two young, lovely children. So I'm a mum of two. And then I also work full time as a project coordinator as well. So that's me in a nutshell.
I'm Nat L, Natalie Leona. So single mum of 3. I say 2.5 because my oldest is 22. So I feel like I've done my bit on that side. I'm also a content creator. I do a lot of work with Nat V also. I loosely call myself a content creator. I do what I can. But I do talk a lot about business, juggling that with parenthood and just the day-to-day things that get on my nerves.
Yeah, exactly. So I wanted to have your experiences before you became a parent. What was life like?
Yeah. For me, I became a parent at, I have to think of my age now, I was 25. So I think that's kind of like an average age.
Yeah, I was
like
25.
First time
Yeah.
That's a
mums.
good age.
Yeah. I mean, that was in my plans, but
Yeah,
just
that's a good
with
age.
the wrong person. 25. So that was obviously life-changing. It's going from being completely free, just doing whatever you want, to now I have to be completely responsible for another human being.
Yeah.
So I really struggled with just simple things like if I needed to go to the shop to get milk and my baby was really young, I was like, I can't go.
Right.
Or I'd have to like pack a bag and get all this stuff just to leave the house. So I had frustrations around that, like around the beginning bit. But yeah, life before, like who was Nat? Nat was very carefree, bit of a party girl. Just enjoyed life. Yeah, I think that was me. And then that kind of all changed a bit. She's coming back now though.
That's good. That's good. So was you married?
I wasn't married at the time. We got married a year after.
Okay.
Yeah, so baby came first and we got married.
Okay.
And then I had my son after that as well.
And what about you, Nat L?
I was a child, I would say. So I was 17 when I had my daughter, my first child. And sometimes I feel like I've blocked out a bit of life before then. I can't fully remember it. It's like school, college, a blur, and then I kind of had my daughter, because I feel like my teenage years were taken up in parenthood. So I really had to kind of find myself over the years with child. I didn't really have an identity yet
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
before I had her, so I've never really known who I was.
So has that changed now that you've had more children and she's older?
I think now that she's older, I've had more children and different things in life that I've had to kind of navigate through. All of that as a combination has helped me get to the point where I'm like, okay, I know a bit more of who I am now, but I'm very still much so on that journey of kind of finding myself, doing things for myself as they all get older. So they're 9, 12 and 22.
Okay.
So I'm now at the point where they have levels of dependency and I can be a bit more carefree and kind of do more things for myself and kind of delve more into being me and not just mum.
Just mum, yeah. I think that does happen as they get older.
Yeah.
You get a bit of your life back a bit.
Yeah. So are you finding that as well now that your children are?
Yeah, my son is 5 and my daughter's 8. So yeah, still, the 5-year-old's still a little bit young, but they're getting more independent. And my daughter, she can get up and make her own breakfast if she needs to. I know, it's
I love
great.
that make their own cereal thing.
Yeah.
It's just the best.
And I've got her making tea as well, so that's really good. But yeah, no, it's nice because now, I can be at home and they can be occupying themselves and I can be getting on with something else. And they don't need me around all the time to be entertaining them and doing things. So that part has been good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there anything that surprised you the most when you became a parent? About
I
your
think
transformation?
just being a parent. Like, I remember I think it was the night that I came back from hospital, and I was like dead asleep, and then the baby started crying. I jumped up and I was like, what is that? Like, what is that noise?
Oh
Who
my
is
God.
that? I forgot I was a mum. So the biggest shock was I'm actually a mum now, and I am responsible for another human. And for a while, I don't know if you look at your kids sometimes now and you're like, are they mine?
Yeah,
Like, I'm really their mum.
absolutely.
Yeah.
You depend on me to eat, sleep, and breathe. Okay.
Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah.
It is. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
No, I can reflect on that as well. Like, I remember the first time someone called me mum in public, I was like, who are you talking to? Like,
Yeah, not me.
Yeah, no, exactly. It is a
Your
really,
voice.
it's a massive shift
Yeah.
that you have to adjust to. What about career-wise? So obviously you went on maternity. Was there ever a point where you thought, oh, maybe I'm not going to go back to work?
Yeah, I took 3 years off
Oh, really?
with my daughter.
Okay.
Yeah, I just couldn't bring myself to go back. I was very protective over her. I was like, I can't put her in nursery. Like, I just want to be at home with her. And my son was a bit different. I was like, yeah, I'm going back to work now. Like,
What do you think? What do you think the difference was?
I think second time round, you know what you're doing. The things that you worried about first time round, you know you shouldn't have been worrying about it. Like, your kids would have been fine.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, no, like, the nursery's fine. Like, he'll be okay.
Yeah.
Just put him in and go back to work.
So you had who came first? Your daughter.
My
You had
daughter
your
came
Oh,
first.
okay. That makes
Yeah.
sense. Okay.
Yeah.
And what about you, Nat? Elle?
Yeah, so when I had my daughter, I did like a work experience because I was in college. They kept me on, so I worked until like a few days until I had her.
Oh, wow.
Then I went back 3 months after, part-time, but I always kind of managed with her whatever job I went into to work it around so that I was able to pick her up and take her to school. That was really important to me because my
Yeah.
mum worked full-time. No shade to my mum, because she did what she needed to do. But I remember as a kid, I always wanted my mum to pick me up. So I always made sure that I was able to kind of work around it. But I worked throughout, yeah,
Wow. How did you manage?
don't know.
She was young, innit? She was
Yeah.
young.
I was
like,
young, and then I started to pursue other things as well. So outside of that, and I just used to take her with me to a lot of things. She was like my little handbag, and she would come with me and just come to shoots because I was modelling at the time as well, and come to these massive music videos and these photo shoots. And she was just my little handbag. She
Yeah.
was known. She was like the little mascot of everything. But I was lucky in that sense. But there was definitely times where I was just like, it's a big responsibility.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're like, I'm 21 and I have a 3-year-old or a 4-year-old, and it's just like, yeah, it's difficult, but you kind of mickle and muckle whilst you're when you're in it.
Yeah.
just figure it out, don't you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you figure it out.
Okay. I want to talk a little bit about as your children are getting older. We kind of mentioned it already, but is there anything that your child has said or done that made you question who you are as a parent?
Yeah, I was just thinking, what example can we give?
Yeah.
There's a few. One with my daughter that just happened the other day where I was kind of making jokes about, oh, I'm going to get you like cooking now and all this stuff.
Okay.
And she's like, Mum, you need to allow me to be a child.
Oh, wow.
I said, oh. I was like, do you know what? You're not wrong. You're not wrong. You're only 8 years old. And I was joking with it.
Yeah.
But it kind of got me. I was like, oh, like, let me be careful not to like make her older than she is before the time.
Interesting, yeah.
So yeah, I just had to kind of sit back and just hold my tongue. I was like, let me just process that one. I'll come back to you on that. But I'm also proud of her for even being brave enough to mention that to her mum.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was just the other day. My mum was there as well, and she kind of
Okay.
looked at me like, "Are you gonna take that?" I was like, "Look, it's new age parenting.
Yeah,
Like, we
do
do
you know
things
what?
differently."
I actually wanted to talk about that as well, because do you find that any of your parents, so your mum,
Yeah.
or any of their influence in the way you are parenting, and are there some parts of it that you're rejecting? So you know, I'm old enough to grow up in a generation where hitting your kids was actually quite normalized. So my parents, I mean, it was quite normalized. And obviously everything changed. after like the 1989 Act, you know, when Children's Act came out, it reformed the whole thing. Is there any parts of your parents that you're saying, no, I'm not going to do that with my kids?
Not from my mum's side, really.
Not necessarily to do with like physical chastisement, but I mean, just so for example, as soon as my dad used to say, as soon as we're tall enough to reach the sink, we can wash dishes.
Right.
Yeah. You know, things like that.
Things
you know.
like that, yeah.
So, is there anything that you've noticed, like, oh yeah, my mum used to do that a lot, so this makes sense. So, for example, you saying that mum looked at you a certain way, like,
Yeah.
because would you have said that to your mum?
Oh, of course not.
Never.
I'm still scared of my mum now. You know, like in certain things, I'm like, nah, I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
You're not going to check it to mum, are you?
No, of course not. No. And I didn't get beat as a child. Mum just instilled that fear into me.
Yeah.
I did not even cross that boundary at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just thinking, I think I parent completely opposite to my mum.
Okay.
And it's not like my mum, how she did it was bad or anything. It's just different.
Yeah.
But she did everything for me. Like I think I was quite spoiled, to be honest.
Okay.
She didn't teach me how to cook, or like I didn't have to change my bed sheets, didn't have to iron. I did nothing, which was nice. But then now I'm like, I see my daughter and my son differently. I'm like, no, I'm going to teach them those things, because I think I probably would have benefited doing it before I went to uni.
Yeah.
Some of my uni friend had to show me how to change a bed sheet, and I was like, maybe I should have known this beforehand.
Okay, interesting.
But yeah, that's probably like the main difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that makes sense. What about you?
I think, I don't know, I say to myself that I'm different from my mum, but when I think about it, I do everything exactly the same. Like I would never understand why I wasn't allowed to play out or stay at people's house that she didn't know. And my kids don't play out. They don't stay at people's house that they don't know. I've kind of mirrored all of the things because it was a protection, and I think actually she was right. So I think there's things that I didn't understand when I was younger, and I was like, but as soon as I had my kids, I got very protective, and I just kind of mirrored everything.
Yeah.
that she's
we
done
do
bringing me up.
naturally.
It's
We
so
do.
strange.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In social work, we talk about family scripts a lot, and oftentimes when we see like generational trauma in families, we speak to parents about, what did your mum's mum do? So we go back 2 generations usually to see what the script is, because oftentimes when there's a lot of trauma, you don't even know why you're doing a certain thing,
Yeah.
but that's your norm, and then you pass it down. So it doesn't have to be a negative experience, but we do pick up what our parents do and teach us, and then we trickle that down. When it comes to trauma, some parents will say, well, I went through this horrible experience, so I'm not going to do X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
Or you don't know any different, and then you repeat the cycle unconsciously. So it's just, I think it's a good reflection for us as parents to think about, where is this coming from? Is this my parenting, or is this my mum's parenting, you know? Or my dad's parenting? Okay. I want to talk about, I only have a boy, so I don't know what it's like to raise a girl. And actually, I really wanted a girl. But now that I have a boy, I don't think I want a girl. So what would you say is the biggest difference you found raising different genders?
I find that my daughter's really independent, more so than my son. I know there's like a 3.5 age gap between them, but like even when my daughter was a baby, like she was, you know, we'll go to stay and play. She's off doing her own thing. Like she didn't even look back to see if I was there. Whereas my son was a bit more clingy, and he still is. Like he loves cuddles. He likes to sit next to me. If he's away, he's like, "Oh, call me, mummy." He's got an iPad. He's like, "Make sure you call me." But my daughter, if she went away for a week, I just wouldn't hear from her.
What do you think what do you think the difference is? Why do you think that is?
I don't know. I really don't know.
Is it just their personality, or the way you've responded to them?
It just seems like it was her personality. From when she came out, she was just quite independent. But then I also think she's more of a daddy's girl. Okay. So there's probably that dynamic, and then my son's more of a mummy's boy.
Right.
So maybe that's why he's a bit closer to me in terms of like emotionally. That's the only difference I can think of.
Okay. Do you feel like you have different standards for your kids?
Yeah, I think so. Not purposely, but I catch myself, or I'm pulled up on it, and sometimes I'm like, yeah, but you're 13 years older than Carter, or you're 10 years older than Mason, and but then sometimes I think maybe it's because they are boys, or why do the boys get away with doing this, or why do the boys get away with doing that, and then I'm held to kind of this standard, and I've had to kind of check that and rein that in, because she has brought that up to me before. So, and I'm like, yeah, but they're only 10, or they're only... She's like, so when I was 10, I was doing this, that, and the other. And I'm like, oh, yeah, you was. It's true. So you kind of have to... They'll tell you. They'll always tell you if they think that it's not balanced as well, or if there is a difference, they notice.
Yeah, I think with the sibling hierarchy, if you're the oldest, you always notice. I feel like I'm the middle child, so I was kind of, I guess I got it easy both ways. But then my oldest sibling would say that the way my parents parented my younger siblings was so different. Like they had a completely different life to me and my older siblings. Are you siblings? Sorry, are you siblings? Are you?
I mean, some people say we're sisters. Yeah.
No, I mean, sorry. Have you got siblings?
Yeah, I got 2 younger sisters.
Okay, and where do you fit in the hierarchy?
The eldest.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
How did you find that?
So I grew up as an only child, pretty much. There's a big age gap, at 13 years, I believe. So yeah, I kind of class myself as an only child. Because once you're that age, you've done all the growing up, you haven't had the bickering and stuff like that. But yeah, I was just thinking, sorry, not to sidetrack, but going back to like your daughter noticing the difference. Do you think it's because when you're a first-time mum, like what I said with mine, you're a bit more protective? So it might not be the fact that she's a girl, but maybe because it was your first time having a child.
Yeah.
You were a bit more like, no, I need to do things this way and that way. Yeah. Whereas now you've got 2 younger boys and you've done it before. It's a bit like, I can chill a bit.
Yeah, and I think there was a pressure of being a young mum, of not getting it wrong, and people not thinking you're soft or you don't know what you're doing because you're a young mum. So I used to wear a badge of honour that I work and I do this, and I got my car when I was 18, and I'm not your typical mum. And I think I spent a lot of years not trying to be the typical teenage mum that I saw around me anyway. And I think a lot of that then spilled into making sure she was in line and she knew what she was doing, and but sometimes that can come across as very like, say, robotic, not really emotional, more kind of making sure that everything's okay. Yeah. Instead of, having more of a softer approach, which the boys would get away with much more than she would. So yeah, I think it's all of those things. There's a lot mentally that when you're a young mum, there's so much that you carry, and that you take on, and that it's your projection. It's not necessarily what other people are thinking, but you just think this is how people are thinking. So then you feel like you've got a point
to prove.
Yeah.
But that makes a lot of sense. I think societal pressures on mums, single mums in particular, is very negative. What's your experience of what society thinks of single
mums?
Yeah, single mums.
Do you know what? Before I started creating content online, in my day to day, you kind of hear snide comments that people make about single mums, but nothing really directed at me personally.
Yeah.
But since being on my content creation journey, I've received a lot of backlash from people online. Shocking. Mainly men. Let's call them out. It's men that leave the comments the negative comments on my videos. And it's all about, how single mums are used for recreational purposes and other things that I won't even want to mention on camera.
Yeah.
But it's just this kind of, I don't know, it's an anger that they have towards single mums. And I've said this before, it needs to be explored in some way, because I don't understand why the hate is there so much to then say this hatred towards a single mum that's we're all just trying to do our best.
Yeah, no, exactly. What is the basis of their anger, would you say? That is their opinion that we shouldn't be dating, or that you shouldn't be, that what is it? What's the issue?
From what I've seen, you probably have more of a thing, but from looking at it from the outside, it's like you're a single mum, so you're down here, Know your place. Don't
Wow.
try and have a standard. Don't try and have an opinion. Don't have a thought and a view. You're lucky that you even have time to go and date. You're a single parent, so there's automatically, it's like a cloak of shame.
Mm-hmm.
Wear that cloak of shame, be humble.
Yeah. Sit in the corner.
Sit in a corner, curl up.
Well, we're definitely going to change that. We need to change the narrative about single
100%,
moms.
yeah.
So your content is amazing. We're going to tag all your bits at the end.
Thanks.
But yeah, I think there is really that negativity around single moms is it does. I mean, I think for anyone who, nobody plans to be a single mom, do you know?
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Like, it's not something that you go into with this idea, like, I just want to do this by myself.
Never.
So when it happens, it's really ignorant. That's what it is. It's just ignorance, isn't it? I'm surprised that a lot of it's men. Actually, am I surprised? No, I'm not actually surprised that a lot of it's men. Have you had any negativity from women?
I've had like one or two comments,
Okay.
but then I look at the account, I'm like, I feel like it's a man behind it. It's like a
Fair
troll
enough.
account.
Yeah, right,
It's got a
okay.
female picture. I'm like, no, that's a man. Like,
Okay.
I don't think women are so overt with it.
Yeah.
Yes, they might make side comments
Yeah.
like, yeah, I don't want to be a baby mom or da-da-da. But I don't think they would show the hate directly because, like you said, a lot of us didn't plan to be single parents.
No.
Like, we went into it, some of us got married,
Yeah.
things just don't work out, and then you
Yeah.
end up and you make the best of a situation.
Yeah. So talking of that, you know, how did you navigate that whole separation phase, both of you? And what was the conversation like with the kids? Because I think that's the hardest part. I think a lot of women stay in relationships because of the kids. Like, I'm just going to stick this out. I'm going to settle with whatever's going on.
Yeah.
Because I want my kids to grow up in a two-parent household. How do you navigate that conversation?
I mean, my children, like my son was quite young when I got divorced. I think he was maybe like 18 months.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he didn't know what was going on.
Right.
Whereas my daughter was a bit older. And it was tough. And do you know what? I don't think I probably handled it in the right way, if I'm to be honest. It was just a thing, I just didn't really address it for quite a bit. It was, okay, we're going to live with grandma now. Like, daddy's going back to where he's from. And we're going to live with grandma for a bit. It was as she got a bit older and started asking questions, and as I had gone further along my healing journey, I was able to kind of talk to her about it a bit more.
Right.
And my whole standpoint was just reassuring her that Mummy and Daddy still love you, but we cannot live together anymore. And
How old
left
was she
as
when it
that.
happened?
She probably was about 4 or 5.
Okay.
Yeah, around there. So she was old enough to know something's going on, but, you know, she's 8 now, so she gets it, like, she's asking a lot more questions. So maybe I just did that to protect her in that time because her small brain wouldn't have been able to understand it anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just kind of kept it as that and just kept on reassuring her that we still love you. We just can't live together. Yeah.
And that change in living dynamics, did that impact like your routine, like with her, with your kids, or? I mean, naturally it would, obviously, but what was that like and how did you navigate that part?
The routine after...
Yeah, because she would have been in nursery or school.
Yeah,
at
she
that time.
just started school. Yeah, she was going into year 1, actually. To be honest, I kept the routine pretty much the same.
Oh, that's good, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I was doing a lot, without saying, but I was doing a lot of the stuff anyway. So that didn't change. Mummy was taking her to school and, you know, was taking my son to nursery. My mum was very involved already. So, yeah, the routine didn't change that much.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what about you, Nat?
I think at first mine was just surviving the heartbreak and the just kind of navigating myself, trying to stay afloat at first. And then kind of when I got through that, I tried to just like have a chat with them, the boy, and I'm like, how do you feel? And they're like...
How old were they?
They were like, oh God, this is about 5 years ago now.
Okay.
So I'd say like 4 and about 7.
Okay.
And even as they got older, as the time went on,
Yeah.
they would probably, one was about 5, 6, and he was about 9. How do you feel? How do you feel about this? Do you feel okay? I don't know. I don't know. So it was like getting blood out of a stone and trying to have a conversation. But then I was like, okay, I'm just going to leave it. But they were happy. They weren't, I couldn't see any changes in them. In fact, they were happy. And I feel like we got closer, even closer, me and them. And then I got to the point where I was like, I couldn't imagine someone with us. We've got our little routine, we've got our little movies. And I was like, it was just, it was a nice thing. They were happy. And then one day, the kids that just didn't care a less was like, you need a boyfriend.
Oh, really?
Yeah, on the beach, on holiday about a year and a half ago. And these are kids that never speak about when I'm trying to kind of get any kind of information. It's like, you need a boyfriend. And I was like, do I need a boyfriend? He's like, yeah, Mum, you need a man in the house. So I was like, that was really interesting.
You both spoke about the healing process. What does that look like? Because you have to, because I think it's the basic of it. The basis of it is that yes, you're separated, but there's actually a lot of emotional ties. You know, the psychological part of separating is very different to the practical side of it. So how did you navigate that? Because you have to present as your best self for the children. Yeah. But secretly, you might want to cry every day.
Of course.
I think it's a mess internally. That's the best way I can think to describe it. It's such an emotional roller coaster. Yeah. And sometimes you feel like you've peaked and that, you know, you're at the finish line and you've been good for 5 or 6 months. And then all of a sudden you feel like hell again, or you feel really low and you get bouts of loneliness. So you're trying to juggle and navigate your emotions at the same time with your poker face, trying to be there for the children. So it's like a real balancing act. And sometimes I said to my mum, I'm exhausted. I'm just exhausted of my own thoughts. Yeah, like emotional. My own emotions and the conversations that I'm having internally with myself. I'm exhausted. Like, I don't want to do it. I'm really tired. I just remember feeling like that a few times. I was like, this is just relentless, because I couldn't crash out. Yeah, exactly. Like I couldn't just have 6 days on the sofa and take like time off. I remember taking a week off work sick so that when they were at school, I could just have that moment to bury my head. But one thing I did allow myself to do this time, which I don't think I ever did before, which is why I kept going back, was I allowed myself to go through it. I think I went back because I hated that feeling. I hated that. So I would just go back. Yeah, just avoid it. But this time I allowed myself, and I got over it very quickly, much quicker than I thought I would. And I was like, you know what, you have to go through it. You can't get over it. You're never going to get over something. There's no getting over. I think that's such the worst term ever, and it doesn't manage expectations correctly at all. You have to go through it in order to come out of it. You can't get over it. That was my biggest lesson. So you just have to give yourself the time. You just got to be prepared for the chaos and allow the chaos. If you allow the chaos, you will come out of the other side. If you don't, and you keep suppressing it and feel like you can't, that is when you kind of stay stuck in that rut and that cycle, and you can't really move forward out of those emotions.
No, exactly. I completely agree with you. My manager always used to say to us, feel your feelings, just don't stay there. Yeah. That is the quote that I use for everything nowadays. Yeah. So what was your experience like in terms of healing?
Yeah, same kind of thing as Nael, really, just feeling it. I allowed myself to cry without any kind of shame or guilt. If I wanted to be down, I was down. Okay, good. But then also had to balance, like, going into survival mode, because I was left in a situation where, like, I wasn't working at the time. Bills had to be paid. I was like, I need to get a job because no one's here funding my life anymore. I need to get a job. I need to find somewhere to live. So one hand, survival mode hat, next hand, crying at night, doing whatever I need to do. But one thing that helped me through that healing process was having a therapist. I talk about this all the time. Like, people will be sick of me, like, we talk about a therapist, but shout out to her.
She's crucial.
Yeah, she was amazing,
no,
honestly.
That's good.
Because she was able to help me, while I was in survival mode, help me still process my emotions and get my head right as well. And I always say to her, like, I wouldn't have been able to, I managed to buy my own home after, I think it was about a year after my divorce, just getting my head down and just getting things done. But yeah, like what Nael said, like, you have to go through the pain. You have to feel it, process it, because if you just push it down, it will just come out in different ways later on.
Yeah.
You know.
So what advice would you give to parents currently? Because I think a lot of parents, they attempt to leave, even so they know they're not in a good situation.
Yeah.
And they probably make several attempts. And then they always end up going back, just because it's easier, like you say, financially, the support's there, or, you know, managing day-to-day routines, etc. So what advice would you give to any parent watching who's saying internally, I know I need to leave the situation?
I think firstly, I would say I don't judge them for
Yes, okay.
if they go back, as long as they're safe. You know, if there's,
of
you
course,
know, if it's an unsafe environment, then leave immediately. But if they are safe, but they just know it's not right for them, there is no judgment here, because it took me 2 or 3 years. I'm not gonna lie, it took me a while to build up that courage to put things into place mentally. To come to terms with, okay, am I going to do the single parent thing? How that's going to look? So it does take time. So my advice to them is just, they will know, once they know that moment, like it will be like a light switch, and they'll be like, I'm going for it and I'm not looking back.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What about you?
Yeah, I agree. If you're I went back a million times. I think I was in an 11-year relationship. I think 10 years out of the 11, I should have left. And like I said, it's not even necessarily.
So loudly.
Do you know what I mean? Like, so I stuck it out.
Yeah.
I left.
Was you
back.
sticking it out for the kids, or was it just because you?
If I'm honest, I was just in love.
Okay.
You know, when you feel
that's a fair. That's
when you say now, it's like, oh my God, I was in love.
I was in love. It makes me cringe to even say that. I'm such a hard cow now. I was just in it, and I think I was blinded. And what I always say to Nat, what the good thing about also sitting in your emotions, going back to that, is I was able to see it for what it actually was, and realize that what I thought I felt wasn't what it was. So I thought I had this deep love and a deep connection, when I actually realized it was just an attachment. And attachments are never healthy. You should only really be in things where there's a connection, never an attachment. You shouldn't attach yourself to anything, because it leaves you in that unhealthy space for 10 years. And that's not even nothing against him. I think I definitely, because I wasn't happy and there's things that did happen in that relationship, it definitely, I think, made me toxic in certain ways in that space, because I shouldn't have been there. I shouldn't have been in that. It brought out the worst in me. It brought out all my insecurities when I should have left and I didn't leave. So I know how hard it can be. And one day I left for absolutely no reason, when everything was going fine for a long time. We'd had like a 2-year breakup, got back together, and this time we were fine. And I think they just said one thing,
and that was it.
And I was like, I'm done. So I understand if you go back, you have to be ready, because I was ready at the most random time. I don't think anyone understood it, but you have to be ready to go. But obviously we don't want to sound like single parents that are trying to advocate for everyone.
No,
I
know. You need to clarify. I was just thinking that as well.
But like, we're kind of, get out.
No.
Leave him, sis.
Join the club.
No.
Like, come over to the great side. No, but I do think that, honestly, I know that being in a relationship that didn't serve me held me back a lot. So I feel like I'm 40 now. There's certain things that I was working towards that I could have done by 35. And I didn't, because I was just emotionally twisted up. I had too much other things going on, and I was in a space that I shouldn't have been in. So sometimes you think you're doing the best for yourself and your family, but you don't realize, as soon as I closed that door, I got my place, I got this, I done that. The business
sometimes it gives you the clarity, doesn't it?
Literally, yeah. And again, nothing against him particularly, just that environment that we had created between us two wasn't it. So I think it always feels harder than it is, but you will survive. You literally, when your mum gave birth to you, he wasn't there or she wasn't there, and you survived all of that time up until then. You can do it again. Yeah.
And just to clarify, we are not promoting single parenthood.
We're not.
But I think it's really important to understand that as a parent, if you are not happy and you're not functioning as your best self, your children get that version of you. And so what I'm saying, or what we're saying, is if you are in a situation that isn't happy, it's an attachment rather than a connection. and there's something intrinsically wrong about the relationship, wherever that might be, or maybe there are even some, you know, bigger issues, you know.
Yeah.
I think it's important to recognize that and have the courage to step away
Absolutely.
if it's in your best interest and the child's best interest, not just because, you know, be a single mom. Definitely
Yeah,
not.
yeah.
Like, I just think I can do it on my own.
Yeah,
now.
no.
It's not a badge of honor, but
Yeah.
we also won't wear it as a badge of shame.
No.
That's
Right,
what I
exactly.
would say.
Yeah, exactly.
If you've got a good relationships will go through up and downs.
Yeah.
That's what I'll always say. And if you're going to be with someone forever, you're going to go through some really dark times
Yeah.
and some really good times. But I think deep down you will always know when it's time to go.
Did you ever try to do anything to work on the relationship?
Oh yeah.
So like therapy, couple therapy, for example?
That wasn't accepted on the
Oh,
other side.
okay.
Yeah. I mean, you need both of you to be on board with it. That's the
that
difficulty.
wasn't ever accepted.
But from my own point of view,
Yeah.
I know I left that marriage with no regrets because
Okay.
I gave everything that I could have done,
Okay.
compromised everything that I could have done to try and make it work, and it didn't.
Yeah.
So when I did decide to leave, it was like I knew that there was no going back because I'd done everything. I had completely changed myself just to please another person, and I was like, I'm not doing that. If they still don't want me for this new version, I'm just gonna walk away. It's just
Fair
done.
enough. Fair enough. And I suppose this takes me on to the topic of dating. dating with kids.
Oh God! I know, like,
Dating with kids.
or not dating at this point.
Or not dating.
We're trying.
What does that look like? You know, I don't know. I mean, it's difficult because there's some parents that are. I've worked with a few parents who have a boyfriend, for example, introduce the boyfriend quite early to the children. It does cause some disruption for some children because if that relationship breaks down, they've now lost somebody that was quite significant. And, you know, I do sometimes when I'm working with certain families, you know, try to help them navigate that space. So I just want to know from your perspective, you know, dating as a single parent, at what point would you say it's a good time to introduce someone to your kids? What does that look like?
I mean, I'm probably talking quite idealistic here,
Okay.
but for me, I would have to at least be dating that person for at least a year.
Okay, yeah.
And it has to be to a point where, like, this man I feel like is going to propose to me
Right,
kind of
yes,
level.
exactly. Mm-hmm.
And I say that now because, like, there isn't anyone in my life. But I feel like if there is someone, things might change slightly.
Yeah.
It depends on who that person is. But that's kind of the blueprint that I'm going by now.
Okay.
So I haven't introduced anyone to my children yet. I've dated since coming out of my marriage, but nothing to the point where I'm like,
Yeah.
they're ready to meet my children.
What about you? Are you dating?
Well, she can't incriminate herself.
Okay.
I'm newly dating.
Okay.
I'll say that. God, yeah, I'm newly dating, but even like within the last 5 years, I think I've dated 2 people
Not bad stats.
during the whole time because I was just so like no. And
Yeah.
I've been in a relationship for 10 years. Before that, I was in a relationship for 5 years. So 11 years. So that's like 16 years of relationships. I hadn't really dated in a long time, let alone now when I am coming into the dating pool, I have all these little people with me. It was just so different. It was just like, oh my goodness, this is hell. And I don't enjoy it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Interesting.
it's not for me. I can be quite introverted.
Okay.
So the concept of dating is a bit hellish for me already. And I've been out the game for like 15 years altogether. 15, 16 years. So I'm not 100% sure. No one's met the kids. But I will say, I think I dated 2 years after I came out of the relationship. It didn't work for different reasons. Then I dated someone else a year and a half after. That was very, very short for 2 months. And then, now I'm back with the original I'm kind of dating the original person that I was dating before. Circle back. So even that, did a little circle back. So even that, I'm like, well, I've known you for ages, but I still feel like it's new, and it's still a new concept to me. Because at the time, there was no thought of kind of introducing children or anything like that. back then, but now it's more of it could be a possibility. So now I have to think about that.
Yeah.
Whereas before I've never thought about introducing anyone ever. And I just think I just need consistency of this goodness. And I know it's not going to be good all the time.
Yeah.
But I think like a good minimum 6 months of consistent, like, okay, we're really here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where I can see that this is really going on the right trajectory. 6 months to about a year, like what Nat said, just because I don't introduce people to the kids.
Yeah, no, it's a difficult
hard,
one.
yeah.
I would find that extremely difficult. So I couldn't even imagine it actually.
Yeah.
And because I know the impact that it will, because of the children I've worked with, when they have lost those really close connections, and sometimes in my experience working, sometimes I found that the step parent actually still wants contact with the child, but the mum doesn't allow it because obviously they've broken up now. But it just causes some difficulty when it's too early and you don't know. So I would recommend that there is a gap. There is a long, you'd have to feel really secure in that relationship.
Because someone said, I was saying this the other day, and someone said to me the same thing that they said on the podcast that you did with Raising Boys to Men Alive, where they said, they said to me, but you can get into this amazing relationship, you've built something over a year, you then introduce them to the kids and it goes to hell because they don't get on. So then you've built something, and then I was like,
but what could be the reason why they wouldn't get on? I mean, it would be difficult in the beginning because it's a new person, and for children it's like, well, you're not my dad, so I'm not going to listen to you. I suppose you'd have to navigate a conversation around their role and what the expectations are for the child. Like, what's your expectations of this? What do you understand of what this means? Like, he's not replacing your dad. I think that's how it would go anyway. If there was any issue,
it depends on the child, because the child could just be being difficult, just being difficult sake,
and sometimes they just want to be protective of you.
That's it.
My daughter was difficult. She was difficult because she was like, it's my mum.
Exactly.
When she was young, it's my mum, and that was just it. And that was the basis of her. What was her Chucky doll behaviour at first? Like, it was just like, that's my mummy. That's my mum, and that was it. So sometimes, but some kids can take that to the extreme, or sometimes kids can sense when someone
that's true
is not good.
This is the thing. I think you have to really know your child, and like, if they're bringing up things consistently, be like, okay, so what is it, and maybe do some investigating, because they might see something that you've completely missed.
That's true. That's a good
you're
point.
in your love bubble.
That's true.
That's the thing.
It's really weird. It's just I think that's the hardest part of dating to navigate, is when you have. It's not just about you. You can't make decisions based on feelings and just red flags. It's not just about feelings and red flags and normal dating. It's, okay, they're coming as well, right? They're coming on the journey. Like, it's like, I always say, it's like flagging, like you're trying to hitchhike. You got to know what car to flag down. You can't flag a Mini when you've got 3 kids. Do you know what I mean? You can't flag. You've got to know what you're doing. It's not as simple as if you're just there dating. Like, I've got friends that have dated. They're like, you're gonna love it. Just la la la. And I'm like, no, I don't.
And what does dating look like? Are you using apps, or is it going out in person? Have you ever done speed dating? Like, what is the dating
just standing
scene
at
like?
my door at the moment, just screaming like, anybody? Nah, I've been on the apps. I'm no longer on the apps. We're leaving that in 2024, please.
Wasn't it a good experience, or?
It's just exhausting. I just don't feel like it's a natural way to meet people.
Right, I suppose,
When I was dating, like, with no intention, when it was just casual, it's fine. Like, you can go on these dates with random people. But now I'm like, looking for my next husband. Like, I want to settle down again. So just talking to people, it's just not right on the app. So, me and Nat went out to some events. Because we thought, meet people in person.
Nice.
That's also interesting.
So no.
So I don't know. I have no answers right now.
Okay,
Yeah.
But what I will tell you is that apparently Instagram is the new dating app because
Okay.
my DMs are just
Oh,
absolutely flooded. Yeah.
Really?
Since I announced that I was doing my dating journey, I think men think it's a cry of desperation.
Yeah. Please, sir.
Yeah. They're like,
Yeah.
I'll date you. I'll take your kids.
Oh, no.
And I'm like,
Not
relax.
I'll date you, I'll
Yeah.
take your kids.
Yeah. Like sending a DM,
charity.
I love kids. I love your... No,
Really?
relax. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's weird.
Oh, gosh, that's so funny.
It's weird. Yeah, they need to stop. But
Because I guess because you're so public with it, they're leading with it as well.
Yeah.
But but I reckon I'm wondering whether mums who are newly in that space and dating, that is it. I don't know. Some mums don't even feel comfortable to say they have kids, and then they start dating, and then drop there's a plot twist in the middle of 6 months later. It's like, oh, by the way,
6 months.
that's too long.
That's like first
How long would you say?
conversation.
Yeah, but some people don't feel comfortable to say it because I think some people feel that if I let them know I've got kids, then they're not gonna be interested in me.
They're not
But
for
then
you.
that's it.
They're not for
Yeah.
you.
That's true.
I wouldn't want anyone.
Yeah.
If I think that if I tell them about my kids, they're not gonna be interested. I'm gonna tell you immediately. I want to see your reaction because I think if that puts you off, I can't help you because I'm gonna.
that's
talk
your
about
reality,
them.
isn't it?
Yeah,
That's your reality.
That's my whole life.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's my whole life. I talk about them all the time as well, so that's gonna be annoying.
So I think that's important advice for anyone who is navigating the dating space. Lead with the fact that you have kids.
Yeah. Like
Only
you can't be
because-
ashamed of your kids.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't
they're
think
there.
it's ashamed. I think it's worry.
Yeah. And that anxiety, I 100%
I get
get it. So I would just say redirect that and focus any interest. If you have a fear that they won't like you or they won't be interested, you don't.
That you shouldn't be dating them.
Yeah, you shouldn't be.
Yeah.
dating
And
them.
that's something I was going to say, that before you even go out dating, you need to make sure you're fully healed. Like, heal all that trauma and everything. Make sure that you are confident, secure in yourself. So that when you go out there, you're not thinking, oh, if this man says no to me because I've got kids, that's going to make you fall down and cry. Like, you can't be in that space.
So what's your advice for healing, being fully healed as you said it?
Yeah.
So we spoke about seeking therapy. I think that's always a good one to do.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else? Like, what do you do for self-care? How do you make sure that because you have to love yourself before you can love anybody, isn't it?
100%.
So what is your self-care look like?
For me, it's just being really aware of my inner dialogue.
Yes.
And making sure I'm kind to myself in
Yeah.
every moment. Like, if you do something wrong and inside you're like, oh, now why'd you do that? So silly. Da, da, da. I'm really conscious of that now, that I show myself that love all the time.
That's important.
So once you have that self-love, that radiates out.
Yeah.
That's how I continue to heal. And, the voice is still there.
Yeah.
You have that inner critic all the time.
Yeah.
But it's just practicing love, kindness to yourself.
Yeah.
And then that keeps you on your healing journey.
Yeah, that self-talk is super important. What about you?
Yeah, spending time with yourself because, like I said, I am still on that journey of finding who I am, and sometimes just having a moment. I'm having a Saturday and it's just mine. There's no one in the house. It's just me. I've cleaned up. I've got my candles on.
Yeah,
I'm watching I'm just flicking through. I'm just scrolling.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm just scrolling and just having that moment, those moments to myself and having my girl time. I've got really good groups of girlfriends and I need having those girl times has really got me through loads of different dark times, and it's kind of helped me to do that. And just, I think having a balance of kind of you time, girl time, mum time is really important. And just understanding that healing is not linear. So I have to be prepared to sometimes feel like crap. I'm not perfect anymore. So sometimes I'm going to make these mistakes still. Sometimes I'm going to go back to some of my old little dirty ways. Sometimes I'm going to be sad. Sometimes I'm going to be thinking about things that I shouldn't be thinking about. But it doesn't mean that everything's gone to hell. It just means that I'm human. And that's what happens. And then you just keep it moving.
Yeah.
So just understanding the healing journey, I think, is important. And it doesn't mean that you're kind of, you know what I mean, you're just this kind of healed, spiritual kind of
Grand Rising
all
Queen.
positive, yeah, Grand Rising, and all of it. It doesn't mean that. It just means sometimes you're gonna feel very negative.
Yeah,
Doesn't mean you're
and
not
like
healed.
we said, yeah, feel your feelings.
Feel your
Feel
feelings.
your
That's the
feelings.
key.
Just
Yeah.
don't stay there too long, but feel your feelings.
Yeah.
Process, reflect,
Yeah.
journal, whatever you
Yeah.
need to do.
Like, I love a good cry.
Yeah.
I love it. Like,
Good.
just get it out, and
Yep.
then you go and you just feel lighter.
You literally
afterwards.
feel like you've released something, isn't it?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
there's a weight's been lifted off your shoulder. It's really important that we process before we get into anything else, I think. And even if you don't have kids, it's not necessarily a kids thing. Anyone who's not jumping from relationship to relationship, but I mean, if you move on quite quickly, I think you don't allow yourself to just process
That
who
time.
you
need
are.
to process.
Just be.
Yeah.
Yeah, just be.
Yeah.
So the person that you are now, would you say you're different from the person that you were when you were married before? Like you're completely good.
Yeah.
Love that for you.
Yeah. If I was to bring up pictures or show you a video of me back then, you'd be like, who is that?
Really?
Yeah, completely different. And the friends that I've had before,
Can we do a...
I can give you some before and after.
Yeah,
why
let's do
not? They're up there on social media. I can
Okay,
give you
yeah,
some
yeah.
anyway. But yeah, friends that have known me through that process, they're just like, I'm back to who I was when I was like 17, 18. This is the
Yeah.
real Nat. And then the Nat that in my 20s, I don't know who she was, but she was an absolute shell, just no confidence, insecure, low self-esteem, would not come on a podcast and speak like this. Like the change is
We love this for you.
amazing. Yeah.
The last thing I wanted to talk about was co-parenting. So what does co-parenting look like? How do you guys navigate communication? Do you have like strict contact rules, or is it kind of ad hoc? Do you talk to each other? Are you friends?
No. And that's that segment. No, I'm joking. No, we're not. I wouldn't say that we're friends.
Okay.
Contact is very minimal, but we do have a regular. That doesn't impact the kids at all.
Okay.
So, yeah, every other weekend they will go down to their dad's. The school holidays are split equally.
Okay. Is that through court or is that just private arrangement?
Just private arrangement.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, that's just been the best for the children.
Yeah.
Is what I always try and keep my head on.
Yes.
For the kids,
Yes.
what's going to be the best for them.
Yeah.
And that's what's been working for the past almost 4 years.
Okay, good. And has there ever been periods where you're let down? And how do you navigate that? So let's say you've got something that you really can't reschedule. They're supposed to be with dad. It doesn't happen.
I always have a plan B. Like,
Oh, good.
Yeah,
Okay.
mum's always on standby.
Oh, okay.
Or
So
my
do you
sister.
do you book in parallel? So you say, yeah, you're going to your dad's, but in case that doesn't happen, I'm also gonna ask.
Yeah, if I know, say if I'm going on holiday or something,
Right.
or something you really can't
Yeah.
change, I'll just make sure my mum is available,
Oh,
and I'll
okay.
say, look, and she already
Interesting.
knows, she knows the deal,
Right,
so she will
okay.
kind of keep her schedule free.
Okay.
Doesn't happen all the time, but there
Yeah.
has been instances where it does happen. But yeah, that's any advice to other co-parents out
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
If you do have an unreliable co-parent, have a plan B if you can. I know finding childcare is difficult, but if
Yeah.
you can have that, then you just know that if they do let you down, you're not going to be completely stuck.
Yeah, that's a good point. What about you?
Same, really, or bring them
Yeah. Bring
where
them
you
with
can.
Yeah,
If it's something you can bring, sometimes you have to adjust where
Yeah.
you can. And it can feel, sometimes that it does make you feel like, oh, why is me? Or why is my, do you know what I mean? That's when you start feeling a bit like, oh my goodness. But you literally do what you can. So if
Yeah.
you can get a plan B, or if it's really last minute, and you can't, and you can bring them, you just adjust in
juggle
some
it
way. And then
around.
there's certain things that you've just not been able to do. And go
Yeah, that's
to.
true. Yeah, you just have to cancel. Yeah, that's true.
Which has just been like a shame.
It's frustrating.
What
but-
do the kids? What do the kids think about your relationship? So like, do you talk to them, or does he contact the kids like through iPads and things like that, or do you be like, oh, your dad's on the phone, here you go?
No. iPads. So
Okay.
he calls them directly, so I don't have to be in the
So
mix.
do you
at all.
what do you think that they think about it? Do they think you're friends?
No, they know we're not friends.
Okay.
Yeah, which it kind of does bother me because my daughter did make a comment. She was like, "Oh, you don't like Daddy, do you?"
Oh, okay.
And I was like, no. But anyways,
Oh,
but yeah, that kind of made me feel a bit sad because I was like, I don't want her to think the tension is because of them.
yeah.
But then I also can't fake it. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Do you think there's scope for you guys to be friends?
oh God, who knows? Who knows? I don't know. I
Okay.
don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah, we're not. we're on civil terms, but it's very bounded. Like, he'll only contact about anything to do with their football, which he usually kind of takes them to. So he'll update me, I'm at work, can you take them to football? And literally around their arrangements, or if they've got a parents' evening. But there's no really like, oh, hey, how you doing? How's it been? How's life? We don't
have those sorts of conversations.
We don't have those conversations. But for the most part, it is civil. There are obviously things that happen, and I'm sure there's things that he probably thinks. But I've learnt to kind of, I just don't take it on. I'm just like, not my monkey.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to get into that kind of
that pettiness.
Yeah, because I can see, I know if you put me in that space, it's not a good space to be in. So
Honestly, one of the things that I really struggled with when I was a social worker was when there's such high conflict between the parents. Sometimes like they completely lose sight of the impact, and hence why children's services are involved. And it can get really, really petty, down to like, I'm not sending them with this particular shoe because I bought the shoe, and it's just like, is he going to wear the shoe? You know, it's for your daughter, so just put her in the Nikes. But it can get really petty. So I would definitely say that if you can't have good communication, then just keep it very minimal. Do it through iPads if that's healthier. To avoid that back and forth and that pettiness, because the only person or the only people that are impacted is actually the kids.
The child,
And it really is damaging. It really does, because you have to understand that children love their parents equally. No matter what, you could be the most horrible person, but they will still love you. Even children that are abused still want to go back to their parents. And so it's really difficult when you're hurt, especially if there's been like an infidelity. It's really difficult to see past that and just like, you know, be like, oh, your dad's great. You know,
just don't say anything.
Exactly.
Like,
So it's difficult. It is difficult. But I suppose, I think the key things that I would want listeners to take away from this is that, one, we need to be healed. And in fact, I want to hear it. Let's hear it from you guys. What would you say the key things that you want listeners, parents, new moms to be, or like as in planning for the future, want to be mums, or mums that are going through that space of separation? What are we saying? What's the message?
One of the things I would say, I don't know if I mentioned it really enough, is like I was saying, the time for yourself. And getting to know yourself is really important. You're bringing someone up, you're trying to steer them in a direction, and sometimes if you don't know who you are or what you're doing, it's like, where are you steering them? Yeah, exactly. Because you don't even know where you're steering yourself, which is where I found myself a lot of the time. So, you know, having that time for yourself and getting to know yourself is important for you, but also for the people that you are bringing up, because you can't kind of direct and lead if you kind of don't know where you are, you don't know where you're going, you don't know who you are. It's very difficult to do that. So take the time out for yourself for all of those reasons as well. So if you struggle to do things for yourself, think about it from that kind of
I think that's really good advice
from that angle.
I would say similar to Nat, but just probably adding on, like, just give yourself grace with things. You know, you might make a mistake or might not do things quite in the right way that we should have done. Don't beat yourself up about it. Just give yourself that grace and keep on going.
Yeah, we all don't know what we're doing.
No,
exactly.
We all don't know what we're doing.
Yeah.
But you roll with the punches, and, you know, as you say, you both got quite a lot of stuff online, which I want people to tap into. And I think your journeys individually are inspiring for others as well, because it takes a lot of courage to put yourself out there, you know, and to sit in rooms like this and have these conversations. So I appreciate you both
Thank you
coming on, sharing your stories.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for having
no
us.
worries.
Nice.
And yeah, we look forward to your journey and your husband, and we better get invited to the wedding.
There's a lot of people on this list. Like, I do like TikTok lives. They're like, we're coming to the wedding. Like, everyone's coming. Everyone.
You've got to do a TikTok live wedding at this point.
At this point, it's going to be front row. We're going to put on the seat.
Exactly. You have to at this point. All right, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
I appreciate you both.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh,
That was
lovely.
good.
That was lovely.